Hey toy fans, Aaron here. Today we're checking out the 6-inch black Series Qi'ra figure from the Solo movie. Let's head to that table and check this one out. And taking a look at her in the packaging real quick, it is that red and black box. Of course, through the window you get a look at her, the included figure, and that blaster accessory that she comes with. And then of course on the bottom you got the artwork of Qi'ra. On the side you see she's number 66 in the lineup, and this is identifying her as Qi'ra with the Corellia outfit. Hopefully we get figures of her with other outfits that we saw in the movie. And on the back side, same stuff here, Star Wars Black Series logo with that number 66 in the upper right corner. And then you get a brief description about Qi'ra here, being 18 years old. And you got that same sketch artwork shown on the backside. And taking a look at the figure out of the packaging, this is of course the outfit that she wore at the beginning of the movie when we first met Qi'ra and Han on Corellia. It's a pretty great looking figure. I mean, like I've been saying lately, these new figures with the face printing technology are looking really good. And just overall for the entire body, top to bottom, it seems like Hasbro's really stepped up the sculpting game here with the way the clothing looks and the other paint detailing on the figure. Looking in on the head area, pretty good sculpt here. I don't know that it's entirely accurate, but she is posed with a pretty generic, almost a sad face, really. But nonetheless, it is still looking pretty good. Fantastic paint job. The hair area has a nice sculpt to it. Little brown highlights painted in there for the hair. Eyebrows, eyes, lips, all of that painted, looking really good. I will say though, the face seems just a little too pale for me. But otherwise, going on for the rest of the body, the chest area, the coat is looking fantastic. I love the texturing of the fur that they put on the top side of the collar. And that cream color that you're seeing is just painted on the top. But on the inside of the jacket, it is all painted gray. That cream color does not extend around, even though you got your fur sculpting just on the, little front flap there on the inside. But you don't see it. It stays flat for the most part. Little parts sticking out there. But otherwise, I don't think it really detracts from the look of the figure. Otherwise, though, the sculpting of the jacket looks great. The little wrinkles of the sleeves being pulled up are in there. You got some seams running down the sides of the arms, and then, of course, just on the sides of the jacket a little bit, just where it opens up. And then, yeah, I do think that is where an ID tag would go up on the top left of her jacket there. As the figure spins around to the backside, you're going to see just more wrinkles and stuff sculpted into the back of that jacket. And then that fur collar definitely extending around through the back. For that red shirt underneath, very plain shirt, no additional sculpting to it really, except for a couple little wrinkles sculpted in where it's tucked in underneath the belt. And then you got that black flap folded open. So red on the outside, black on the inside, and then that black strap going across the shirt. I'm not a fashion person, I don't know, but as you get down to the wrist area, you see she's got a couple bracelets sculpted in there. Pretty decent sculpting and painting to that. And then over on her left wrist, she's got another little bracelet of some sorts with some black and silver painting on there. Things are looking pretty good. And then as we move down to the waist area of the figure, down through the legs, obviously as you can see, she's wearing a skirt, and that has a wonderful paint job to it, nice sculpting. For that belt area, she's got these, what the visual guide is calling lock picks or something, lock pick spikes. Pretty good sculpting and a little touch of silver paint detailing on the edges of those. And then as far as that skirt, just lots of little wrinkles and stuff sculpted in there. And then all this white stuff that you're seeing painted, a little harsher white at the bottom of that skirt and then a little lighter up top. It's all what they're calling brine encrusted clothing. A lot of the scrum rats of Corellia have this covered in them from running around the sewers and stuff. On the back side of the skirt, you do have a touch of brine painted in on there, that little white stuff. Unfortunately, it doesn't extend as high up or as faded and stuff. Not as much detail in that painting or variances in the tone of the color. Would have liked to seen something similar to the front side being done here on the back side. And as we keep moving down, black pants. Nothing fancy here. You got some minor sculpting to represent some wrinkles in the fabric. And then a touch of strap detailing down at the bottom of the pants. And then she's got some gray boots painted on with some more of that brine splatter on there. Now, unfortunately, these pants are very clean black pants. You got the brine on the front of the skirt. You got a little bit of brine painting on the boots. So a little disconnected here. I would have liked to have seen that splatter continue up the pants. As for the articulation of the figure, you get your usual movement that you'd expect. That head spins side to side all the way around. You get a little bit of the head going down, but nothing really going up. The hair and that high collar of the fur kind of gets in the way. And in fact, it even makes the head sit down just a little bit. So she doesn't always look like she's looking straight. but that's relatively minor. As for the shoulder area, they raise up just above 90 degrees, so pretty good range of motion with that. And then of course they do spin all the way around. At the elbow area, you get your bending there, about just above 90 degrees there, I'd say, and then you get your rotation side to side. And then as far as the wrists, they both spin around, and then this right hand goes up and down. And then her left hand does go side to side, so great range of motion there. As far as the waist articulation, of course, you're able to spin the figure all the way around, and then she's got a pretty good leaning back and a little bit going forward, and, you know, even some side to side motions there. As far as the legs, you're going to get her doing the splits about like so. And then, of course, the skirt does have a slit in it, so you can bring the legs out, and then they'll even go back. And even though it's hard to see, you do have your rotation at the top of the thigh, and the knees are double jointed, so you get a great range there. For the feet, you get your forward and your back movement, and then also the rotation at the top of the foot. And as far as accessories, she does come with this double-barreled pistol. Pretty good sculpting to it. Looks pretty well accurate to what we saw in the movie. Although I don't think she actually used this weapon with this outfit. I could be wrong. Pretty sure she just used it later in the movie with a different outfit. But every figure does need an accessory, so why not throw her one that she uses in the movie? Sculpting to this, like I said, looking pretty accurate to what we saw in the movie. That double barrel on the pistol is painted all silver, and then a touch of silver down at the back end of the pistol. And one little thing that's interesting here, for whatever reason, this double barrel part of the blaster actually separates off from the pistol itself. I don't know if that was done to aid in the sculpting process or something. Certainly, I don't think it's a hidden feature of the weapon itself. But anyways, that's what we get here. And the weapon does fit pretty nicely in her hand. And of course, that index finger is, you know, sticking out a bit, so you can wrap that into the trigger area of the gun. So overall, this really is a pretty good looking figure. You know, like I said, my only minor complaints is that the face is just a little too pale. And I just would have liked to have seen a little more consistency in that brine application. You know, like I said, you got a little splatter on the boots. The pants, though, are all clean. And then you got more splatter on that skirt. But aside from that, I really don't think it takes away from what is otherwise a really good looking figure. And so that wraps up this look at the 6-inch Black Series Qi'ra figure. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this figure in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.